And we are now getting into the pick and ban phase. There it is. First ban. Mata's Thresh being stricken away. Looper's Rise shortly to follow thereafter. Hatong's Azir. Looks like Master learned rather quickly. And I just want to follow up a little bit more. Whoa, Hecarim actually banned away. They don't want to let Looper first pick that either.
Dandy has also played Fizz. We'll see what kind of direction he goes with 2 top lanes already banned. Alistar going to be the last ban for Master3. No surprise right there. But I actually really like Master3 kind of difference coming into this one. You know, okay, get rid of the Azir, get rid of the Thresh. What do we go for? Get
rid of things that can let Mata and Dandy make plays. And now it's first pick for Looper.
Kalista the last ban.
Uh-oh. You've got thoughts on this. I can already hear your thoughts in my head. If they first pick that Rek'Sai, that means Gragas is open for World 6.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you can start to read my thoughts. I was like, letting World 6 on Gragas. He's only played it, I think, twice, maybe 2 or 3 times, but every single time. Like, Gragas is obviously a very strong champion, but World 6 was a phenomenal Gragas player. It's like head and shoulders above any other champion that he's showcased so far. But on the other side, immediately...
Yeah, there's Endless Sivir and Victor secured for Hatong. He got MVP on it yesterday. He's getting a chance to show his stuff once again. And with Azir banned away, you've got to wonder, how is Dade going to play into this? He took Kassadin, who is relatively self-sufficient against Hatong's Azir.
I'm going to make a prediction.
Hit me with your prediction.
I'm going to say Vlad.
Vladimir, interesting.
Yeah.
And why Vladimir? Why does Vladimir fit into this?
Your pool and how it interacts with A, Victor's Chaos Storm, and B, his gravitational field, whatever it's called, his force field.
Interesting.
And Dade, I mean, one of his champions is Vlad. It actually has one of his highest win rates out of any of the champions that he's debuted in the mid lane. He's played quite a few games on it.
Interesting to see how Vici, despite knowing how impactful Mata is going to be, they're not prioritizing supports right now. They decided to go for...
they have Nautilus.
Yeah, the... Vici Gaming.
Oh.
They decided to go for the mid and AD carry first before getting Mata secured. And when, like you said, with that, Nautilus is picked up. Would Mata play a Bard? I don't think so. He keeps returning to that Annie. That seems far more likely.
Well, you have to think about it. Annie's just so much more one-dimensional and straightforward in how she goes about setting up a fight. Drop Tibbers fight on this, whereas Bard is very much more about kite communication. It is still a bilingual team because you have 2 Koreans and 3 Chinese members onto it. And not that Mata couldn't play Bard, but it's much harder, a lot more organization. And, you know, Vici are still very brand new to how they're going about team fighting and things like that. So I think Annie makes a lot more sense, you know, giving your high-impact player like Mata high-impact...
champions.
Yeah.
Makes sense, yeah. On the other hand, Master3, looking at those last 2 picks, it's going to be Looper in the top lane and Dade in the mid. And with that, they're going to secure Gnar. Last pick for Vici is Dandy to deal with that, and on Dade, they're going to end up taking Echo into that Victor.
I really wanted the Vladimir, but he's going to go to the Echo.
I think Echo works the same way, because the moment you hit level 6, you've got a panic button. Once you find yourself in a bad spot, you just kind of eject. That's what I say whenever I play Echo.
Echo's really good at eating up resources from the enemy mid laners that he faces. Obviously, if Victor dumps his whole combo or every single ability on top of Dade, not only is he expending a ton of mana, but obviously big, long cooldowns, which Echo can then just press R and reset all of that. But Victor's cooldown on his laser and just kind of how he really plays out in lane is being more of a, you know, poke, 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 all engage. You know, quick trades with his Q sometimes, so we'll see. Echo does have a pretty strong level 1 through 3. That said, it's a melee versus a ranged champion, so don't know if that's going to pay off in quite the same context. We'll see where Dade decides to go, but his lane phase has been struggling.
Yeah, it definitely has, and he's taking a very strong laner into Hatong. Here you can see the junglers Kandi in World 6 going on the exact same ones. This time, it's Hatong on his MVP-worthy Victor into Dade's Echo. And I'm a bit curious to see how this one's going to play out, because SMLZ, once again, he's on Caitlyn. He's on that long range, I'm going to poke you down to death. He's got to support Nautilus, but he's up against Sivir Annie. How's that going to end up playing out?
We'll see if they actually 2v2 against each other, or if they look for a lane swap. Now, again, a lane swap was attempted to initiate last game, but Vici caught it out and rotated anyway.
Yep.
So we'll see if that's the same case this time. I mean, really, Caitlyn and Sivir are going to do very similar things in terms of a 2v1 scenario if they do get the separate lane swap, and it's just siege towers. And as I say that, the last time SMLZ did it, he froze the wave, and again, they
Yeah.
lost that big tower advantage early to Invictus Gaming, and you just can't do that against Vici. You can never give them a step in the right direction.
Yeah, especially when you've got Endless on that Cipher, somebody who's going to clear waves super fast, get them under the turret, and just knock down turrets so very quickly. So I'm a bit curious to see how things are going to swap up. We're loading onto the Rift right now.
Right now, we're on the Rift.
We're on the Rift right now.
We're going right now.
This very second. I hope you're ready, because it seems like Master, they were not ready in game number 1, and Vici Gaming pulled an Illidan on them and definitely went raid boss all over M3. They were not prepared.
There were so many... Oh, hold on.
Oh, man. SMLZ is not prepared once again. Forced a flash right away.
Why would you stand there?
I don't know.
Why would you stand at the tip of the bush? That's literally, you've got like a foot between fog of war from the other bush that they could very easily be in, and then on top of your face. You get the same vision if you're standing on the back side of that bush. That was...
Yeah, SMLZ not making the best choices right now.
Lost his flash. That's actually fairly important.
He did lose his flash, and once again, World 6 so impactful to that early game for Vici Gaming along with Mata. They've got a very strong level 1 double recall out of SMLZ and Love CD. Will they sense that it isn't a lane swap?
It's important to note that while SMLZ saw that he had 3 resources bottom from Vici, that Looper stepped forward and placed a very deep ward to check if a lane swap was going to go through, which is why we see Looper actually setting up for the double jungle, but I think he's just going to take a camp in the teleport top.
Yeah, I really like this about Master3. They're effectively shutting down what World 6 did in the last game. Start blue buff, then head over, steal the enemy red, and gank level 2. And yeah, SMLZ is even going to help World 6 out a bit. A little bit of double jungling going on as the duos look like they're going to meet on the bottom lane. Dandy this time, we didn't really hit on it during Champions Life, but he's on a top lane tank. He doesn't have Smite.
Oh my goodness, he's playing with Flash. He's done this, I think, twice before as well. See how he performs on this Maokai, but it pretty much fits right into his MO that he's defined as a top laner, and it's the high-impact flanking and using your teleport advantage coming from behind to set up really nice engagements for your team. Able to do that very well in Hecarim. Maokai has exactly the same toolkit if we look at how Koro uses him, so see if Dandy can do his best Koro impression.
Yeah, and teleport is now used by both Dandy and Looper. They secure a camp to level 1, get to level 2, teleport into top lane. World 6 decides he doesn't want to go for any early aggression. You can see Mata and Endless just being scary as all 4 members simultaneously get level 2 in the most interesting turn of events we've seen so far. And things look like they're already going better for Master3 compared to the last game.
Mata has to be really careful, though. Wow, okay. He's being really forward and aggressive, obviously, because he has that stun and then the confidence that if you look for a trade, typically with the stun duration CC and just the burst damage that support Annie can put out, that they'll win a trade, especially if Endless is able to get a double boomerang proc off of the stun. But hold on, mid lane.
Finds Dade. He forced the flash away, but the knockup still finds him. It's first blood once again for World 6, and we talked about how his Rek'Sai wasn't that stellar, but he's making a hell of a case.
And it's so punishing for Echo to be that far forward when he doesn't have his ultimate available for the reposition right there. And World 6, again, like you said, just as punishing on Rek'Sai. The gank angles are so easy for that champion.
Yeah, Harass coming out in the bottom lane. All 3 waves putting pressure out for Vici Gaming as they look to commit a similar game to the one that they had previously. World 6 on the invade now is going to steal away Kandi's Krux too, not even going for the full clear as he just wants to deny as much as humanly possible or voidlingly as possible.
He's rotating back around. I don't know if he's maybe doing a drive-by to grab the last Krug. Now he's looking for a gank.
Yeah, he definitely is. This is a scary position. Flash stun finds SMLZ. They know he's got no knockup. He uses the 90 caliber net. Ignite goes down. Are they going to get the kill? No, they aren't. And World 6 goes down to Love CD, who staggers it out with his enormous CC.
What a huge miscommunication between Endless, Mata, and World 6. Mata and World 6, again, on exactly the same page. We're looking for the dive. You said it yourself. We know Caitlyn didn't have the flash available, but World 6, instead of taking the kill, looked to hold tower aggro, but Endless was on the opposite side of the lane, couldn't follow up with the last auto.
Yeah, great play out of Masters 3, and they're going to trade that kill right back over, and in fact, take a gold advantage. You can see Looper's up in the top lane. And with this wave, SMLZ is actually going to be up a few CS over Endless as well. So things looking up for Master3. They might actually catch Hatong in the mid lane as both Dade and Kandi are looking for a bit of a pick. The AoE field comes down. They find the slow. Is Kandi going to get in range in time? Flash is used by Hatong. Solid play out of Dandy.
Really nice play with Fog of War from Dade right there to throw his parallel convergence from the Fog of War, and then at the last second, because again you have a 3-second cooldown window where you can get inside of that circle to proc the stun. So cute little trick and forces the flash into Hatong.
Yeah, the Chronosphere being highly effective. Dade, you can see going for the Amp Tone first as World 6. You know, my gank bottom didn't work out that well, so instead I'll just continue being super aggressive and steal away this guy's Raptor camp. Vici Gaming once again being hyper aggressive. They get an enormous amount of deep wards into M3's red side jungle. They're going to see every move that Master make for the next 3 minutes.
This is very classic Mata, going for the mobility rush, has his level 1 boots as well as picking up 2 green wards, then immediately on first back running into deep side enemy jungle, placing those wards.
Yeah, and they saw both Love CD and Kandi, so they know that this is a gank 3v3. Mata's going to take a bit of harass. World 6 gets caught in the snare, takes a bit of a knock-up. He's brought low, but he's able to get out just fine.
Master3 doing a much better job paying attention, being in river, placing down their own vision, and responding appropriately. So not going to get run over this time around, as we actually have a fairly even game, which means that we can talk about team compositions.
Yeah, we definitely can. Walk us through it, Frostgearin.
Okay, so last game we had kind of, you know, zone control space, protect the ADC style of compositions. This time around, you've got multiple damage threats and kind of a wombo combo. The thing about Echo, and why I really like Echo for China in particular, because again, they're all about really creative angles into team fighting and managing CC really well, is Echo's really used defensively, and especially on Dade, because Dade likes to go more defensive builds. He does it on his Cassiopeia with a Rylai, so I assume we'll see the same thing out of his Echo, but we'll have to pay attention to that, is they rush Echo ahead, and they almost use him as a gap closer to slow down the enemy team, and then have his R available just as like a quick, if they try to turn him, he resets all of their cooldowns. And while all the team has expended that time trying to take down Echo, the rest of the team catches up and collapses. But speaking of collapse...
Yeah, Kandi going for the invade gets punished. 3 members now. No, the teleport's canceled by Looper on the top side. Kandi might be able to walk out of this. He flashes out. Here's Dade turning now onto Hatong. The huge stun goes out, and Looper kills Dandy in the top lane. They are going to lose Kandi, however. And Vici looks like they're going to trade 1-for-1.
It's a 1-for-1 trade, and the reason why Looper's teleport got canceled is Dandy. He gave his life for that pick in the jungle.
Yeah, really solid play right there.
It is important to note that right now there is a TP discrepancy. I would assume that Dandy would teleport top, yep, to catch that big wave because he doesn't want to sacrifice too much, but he could have held it and tried to apply pressure onto the dragon, having that TP disadvantage. But both top laners, TP is done.
Really solid play, and so far it's now 2-for-2. Minor gold lead again for Master3 and Vici. They aren't finding that early advantage that is so crucial to them, snowballing games, and SMLZ looks like he might finally be able to get to that late game hyper carry Caitlyn that we saw in his set yesterday.
But again, going back to team comp, so that's kind of how Echo works, and you know, slowing down the team, using his parallel convergence on these choke points. Looks like we're going to have a replay instead onto that top lane to kind of see what happens. So there's Loop, we're going for the teleport. Dandy's going to interrupt him with his knockback. Twisted advance, but for that he trades his life. Looper's about to get Mega Gnar. I have a feeling that he's about to stun Dandy on this wall.
Yeah, kaboom. Dandy takes so much damage. Even the minions are doing work, and Looper bursts him down for another kill for Master3.
I mean, really what this does is it allows Dandy's team to get ahead while he falls behind in lane, because obviously Looper now has the itemization of that Hex Drinker.
Yeah. So let's go back to team comps. You were talking a little bit about Dade. He's
One
going to go
day,
aggressive.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
So you have so much dive and backline threat potential, the Gnar, the Gragas, the Echo, things like that. And SMLZ on this Caitlyn is so long range, and he likes to play really far back and just get those autos. So really it's threatening the backline, being sure that you can get on top of Victor because he is a mid-range, low mobility mage, while SMLZ is just pretty much self-sufficient on his own.
We'll definitely see if that ends up working out for Master3. They've got a solid front line, a very scary back line, and all in all, they've got a team that would make the world champions tremble in fear if they're able to make it to the late game. Looper gets some huge damage down, and he's playing that mini Gnar so exceptionally. Dandy's going to go down here unless he burns his flash, and even then,
definitely down.
He's going to end up dying. Looper, so aggressive. Oh, good play. It's followed up. Dandy
Oh.
finally gets popped by Looper.
That was a cute little move right there to flash and dodge the boomerang. Unfortunately, can't make it connect, but I mean, we talked about it. Dandy, very talented mechanical player. Obviously, he really thought out that trade, how he was going to feasibly squeeze out of that one. Doesn't connect that time. And speaking of world champions,
but they trade
died
Flash
to
for
Looper.
Flash. He did.
There's so many Samsung white players in this, and then one Samsung blue guy.
The poor blue guy, he's like, where's my team?
Wow, it's almost a full reunion. Let's get Pawn in here.
Yeah. Get the whole crew back together. Yeah, so things not looking that great for Vici, with Dandy actually losing 2 solo kills now to Looper, and now that he's got that Spectre's Cowl, he's going to be able to trade even better with Dandy. So things looking pretty powerful for Master3.
I mean, that's fine, though. Maokai doesn't need a lot of gold to really take off and to be that threatening menace, especially with the Sivir. This is what I like to call the OMG special, Sivir Maokai. Press R on Sivir on the hunt, and just a free twisted advance on any sort of target that you would like, particularly on the back line. And again, it's all about this Victor. If they can just get on top of Hatong and delete him, that's a huge source of damage gone for Vici, because Sivir, not exactly low damage, but not a hyper carry.
Yeah, definitely see if that is going to be the case. Looper seems to be doing well. On the Hunt is used, and a great hook from LPL still brings him into range of Endless. He finds a snare, but Kandi's not there in time, and they get away.
SMLZ really interested in these creeps, not so much the Sivir.
Well, he's Caitlyn. He's up 30 CS right now.
So I guess it's paying off?
I would imagine so. We'll definitely see if it does pay off. If he is able to become the late game, very scary Caitlyn that we all know he can be.
We can talk about Caitlyn right now.
Tell me about Caitlyn.
Okay, so here's my thing with Caitlyn. So Caitlyn just got some quality of life upgrades on 5.11. Her headshot, which is her passive every 5 auto attacks, now has armor penetration on top of it, and also her ultimate's going to work a little bit more effectively. Fog of War can't cancel it, things like that. Although as I say that, they're like, nope, gotta murder.
Yeah, flash stun on the Looper. His Meganar just ran out, and he did use his bounce as well. The Hex Drinker is popped. Who's going to get it?
He's still alive.
Yeah, Dandy's the one who finally picks up the revenge kill. Great play from Vici, and they even sent Endless up there. Something tells me they want this turret.
Yeah, but in response, that's a pretty easy Dragon Call for Master3, especially because Looper has his teleport, so if they should need him, he can be down on that side of the map. So Tower for a Dragon as well as Looper, not the worst trade in the world.
Yeah, Vici looking to get a little bit explosive. Meanwhile, SMLZ shoves that wave in bottom. Hatong looks like he might take a bit of harass from Dade. Nope, gets out of range in time. Dade clears this wave so fast. I love how Echo clears waves. It's actually really satisfying.
But back to Caitlyn as Master3 pick up this jungle, although that smite was missed.
17 health.
Caitlyn, she's going to push, she's going to siege. Obviously, she has really long range as well as great wave manipulation with her Piltover Peacemaker because it's able to go through. I can never get a break.
Yeah, Dandy is going to be the target now. Looper even teleporting in as well. Let's see if he gets the kill. He's not going to. It's LPL who secures it, but Masters3, they're not going to trade just a turret and a kill. They get a turret of their own, a dragon, and a kill. So, Masters3 up in the ante.
Great play from them. We'll see if they also secure this blue buff. They are in position forward for it, but they did lose a viable cooldown in that depth charge. Doesn't seem to matter much, though.
They're shoving forward now. It is secured. Kandi forced to use the smite to secure it. Dade was waiting in the wings as well, just in case a fight were to break out. And that was, in fact, all surviving 9 members on the map right there.
And really kind of the big difference between this game and the last game is Mato's roam and how effective he's been on Thresh versus on Annie. So Masters3 doing a great job slowing down Vici Gaming, making sure that Mata's not getting those roams off, finding those free kills, and taking their own pace, slow and steady.
Yeah, slow and steady wins the race. At least it did during their last few games. Hatong not going to be caught in the Chronosphere as Dade looks to harass a bit. World 6 coming in for some aggression. And you can see things are looking pretty solid for Hatong. He is keeping even in CS, but he's 1-0-1 right now. Looks to be turning into the primary carry for his team. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it once again as Dade. He's been trying to recall for the past few waves now, but he has not been successful as it's just been shoved left, right, and center. Finally, he's going to sack a few creeps to complete the recall while Hatong continues to shove.
And that's why Victor is so hard to deal with in lane. Once he gets his upgraded Hex Core and enough points into his laser, he can just freely back or clear the back creep line.
Bit of aggression from Vici in the top lane as they look to put pressure down. The barrel is actually tossed out. Chronosphere is only going to shield Dade. And the turret's still alive. Vici tried to make the fast rotation, but they aren't able to find it. Instead, they're now swinging up for SMLZ. Here's Mata from the backside. He's going to find SMLZ, and LPL might actually go down before the rest of his team can get there. He's taken the stun. He lands it onto SMLZ. Dandy now gets into the back line, and SMLZ has died. Dade joins the fight, but it's too little too late as his carry is dead. And they trade 1-for-1.
Meanwhile, though, Looper in the bottom side has a very big wave. We'll see if he's able to trade the tower. If so, that is very much worth for Masters3.
Yeah, fight breaks out. They decide to turn on the LPL. A huge Chronosphere goes out, but it's only going to slow as Dade decides not to go on. He actually had to use the Chrono Break to get out of there. And there is going to be the retreat to try to keep that turret alive. They're trying to stop the recalls, but Looper makes it there before anyone can stop him. And Endless and Hatong, caught out in their own jungle, get obliterated by Dade.
Good response from Masters3. Does force Looper off of the tower, so Vici, you know, is trying to stop the bleeding around the map that they can, but with the Void Rush over to the top side, immediately Masters3 turn on the gas and pick up 2 kills.
Yeah, so things are definitely looking better for Masters3 in this game. It seems as though they're finally able to direct the pace and really control the flow just a little bit better. Yes, they are even in turrets, but they're up in kills. They've got very solid CS leads, 40 for SMLZ, and another 35, or that's another 40 for Looper, which is yielding a 2,000 gold lead. But yesterday, when Masters3 had solid advantages, they had Baron control, they had Dragon control, but they just couldn't close out the game.
Yeah, they struggled a lot to really close out the game and kind of make these correct rotations. They were very cautious and very respectful to Invictus Gaming. We'll see if they extend that same courtesy to Vici, which I would imagine so, because Mata trying to make plays happen around the map.
Yeah, Condi does spot him out. Chronosphere comes out. They collapse on the Hatong. Stun isn't going to find him as they try bursting him down. Here's World 6 from the backside. Chrono Break not doing enough damage as he is only level 11. They burst him down before the rest of Master3 can get there, and Hatong is going low. Dandy now teleporting in as he's looking to come in from behind. Hatong, the primary carry, is still alive. Looper finds Mata. He's going to shred through his health bar, but here's Endless on the hunt is used to get in there. SMLZ joins the fight. Hatong is so low, but he's still alive. Finally, it looks like he's going to go down to the ace in the hole, but Endless is doing some serious work. He's a level down behind SMLZ. The tank lines are trading it out, but Endless is continuing to do some serious damage. SMLZ going toe-to-toe now. Can he bring it down? A huge crit secures the kill. They dive now onto SMLZ, and it's going to be a solid trade. 3 for 3 between Master and Vici.
It was really key that SMLZ got into that bush and really wanted to play with it, because obviously Caitlyn's passive is going to proc sooner when she's using Fog of War and using the bush like that as opposed to just standing free in the open. Still kind of questionable play from SMLZ. He could have gotten a lot more autos off as opposed to soaking up his time by laying down the headshot. I think it's like a 2-second channel, so not the best use of cooldowns, but a solid performance and a much better performance from Masters3 last game.
Yeah, as was in fact a 4 for 3 in favor of Vici Gaming over the extended engage. And here's the breakdown of that. Hatong finds Dade, and then it's just complete chaos. Really
good zone control from World 6 to realize that Dade could chrono shift back and make sure that he's in place to find the knockup. And then you just have this really wonky, very split fight. Both AD carries are very late to get to the fight. You see SMLZ and Endless there finally getting involved. And really, Vici, the fact that their core members are closer together and they're able to really play with their front line and peel for Endless, just a lot more direction. This is what we're talking about. So SMLZ, he had his headshot that he wasn't just getting these free hits off onto Looper and Condi. He finally looks for Endless here, but it's just really important that he gets inside of that bush, finds the crit for the headshot, but it's just so late that he's not able to really even get another proc with his headshot.
Yeah, and with that, that's going to be a very even gold trade between the two. Now Masters3 have got control over the Dragon Pit as Hatong goes for the Hatong special, splits in the top lane. He isn't actually going to shove that top turret as he is afraid of someone getting up there, but that's Dragon number 2 secured for Masters3 as they're playing the exact same series of games they did yesterday. Did he miss his smite? I think he missed his smite. Blue buff resets, and Dade is the one who secures it. No, it's SMLZ.
That was
oops.
Cute.
Yeah.
Unique.
I think the blue reset as he was smiting it.
No,
so
he smite early.
Getting way too much health. I'm trying to throw him a bone here.
Smote early?
He was smitten by the blue.
Smited?
Hey.
Smitten? Smite-eye?
Smitten?
No. Smote. We can.
Smite
I always want to go back to talking about Caitlyn because SMLZ is actually doing fairly well this game, but I feel like every single time I bring up Caitlyn, both teams just rush at each other. So my thing about Caitlyn is that she has a mid-game power trough, which most AD carries have a mid-game power trough. Obviously, in the Cinder Hulk meta, that was also kind of the decline of Caitlyn, just because she had zero answers to really help her break through the big front tanky lines like Sejuani, and I mean in this case it's Maokai, it's Rek'Sai, things like that. With the headshot changes, it does give her kind of a pseudo-steroid or some way to deal with burning through health, but it's not like she has like an attack speed or anything like that. Now, as opposed to Sivir specifically, Sivir, like other AD carries that are going to look for that core of 3 items, the Last Whisper, the Zeal upgrade, and then the BF upgrade, has an R button. So Sivir will go through a mid-game power trough as well in terms of just the damage output because she's waiting for her armor pen, again, because we are in the meta of Cinder Hulk and these big tanky front lines. But the difference is she gets to augment her team. She gets to press R and empower everyone else, whereas other AD carries don't get to do that. And that's what I really like about Sivir, in specific to kind of who do you pick, Sivir versus Caitlyn. As far as a 1v1 duel, Caitlyn's pretty much going to win and beat any AD carry. She's just got oppressive range. Her lane phase is god tier. She's great at sieging, but you have to get her over that hump, and SMLZ is in that hump right now.
You can see that the blue, once again, is not secured by Vici. This is their own blue this time. And things not looking that great for Vici. They tried to go for a 5-man shove in the mid lane, but weren't able to commit to it. While Master3 had Looper and Dade splitting on the outside waves. That's why you can see that big minion wave shoving on the bottom side. That's going to be caught out by Dandy. And now we're 21.5 minutes into the game. Master3 have got a decent lead, 1,000 gold. They've got 2 dragons, and it's even in turrets. This game looks like it might be playing very similar to how Masters games played yesterday, but Vici are consistently looking, actively seeking for those small advantages that they continue to eke their lead out once again and then snowball that. Well, I say snowball, more like avalanche that into victory.
The pick potential from Vici, because their vision is still very strong. It's more defensive this time around. Master3 doing a much better job, you know, playing reactionary, covering their sides. And here comes this flank. And Jake talked about this yesterday, Spawn talked about this yesterday. Caitlyn will pretty much use that headshot anytime it's off of cooldown, just because it really doesn't do much in a team fight. We saw that the last time SMLZ was in a team fight, he could have been autoing the front line, but instead was lining up that headshot to assassinate the victor who had already left the team. So anytime he has that up, he's probably going to burn it. Looks like he chose to burn it on Mata that time around, which, you know, kind of makes sense. Mata's been the big hinge on which Vici's success swings, finding these clutch engagements.
Oh, looks like we could see a flank as Dandy teleports from the backside. Turret goes down, and it's complete chaos. They're diving onto Hatong. He's taken so much damage, but he's still alive. A huge slam from Gnar locks him against the wall, and Endless is just dishing out attack after attack. Dade's still alive, but the rest of his team is falling lower and lower. 2 members of Masters are dead for only Hatong. Now 3. They're trying to trade it over onto Endless. Looper gets onto him. He gets the kill, but he's going to go down. That's going to be a 4 for 2 in favor of Vici Gaming, and Looper, even in his dying throws, is almost able to kill Mata 1v3.
Dandy was a little bit late, so it could have been much cleaner from Vici in terms of engagement. Again, kind of the difference between Hecarim. Hecarim would have gotten there a lot faster just because of his devastating charge, whereas Maokai, it took more time to rev up and get where his team needed me. But SMLZ absolutely deleted from that fight. I know Hatong fell shortly after, but not before he unloaded his full cooldown on that backline threat of Caitlyn.
Yeah, you can see SMLZ has not used either his flash or his exhaust.
He just insta-died.
He was like, oh, well, I guess that happened.
It was,
so.
I believe it was a chain tippers into a Chaos Storm, and I think he ate a laser, and that was pretty much good night, sweet prince.
You can see Hatong is doing pretty solid this game as he's got some significant damage, and so far, being able to front load all of that damage onto SMLZ is yielding some pretty big results. And after that, it seems to be how long can Hatong stay alive, continuing to dish out damage, versus how long Looper can kill the rest of the carries. Because Dade, we've seen him skirmish jumping in, backing out, but he's really not doing as much damage as I would expect.
It's all about Hatong, and again, we talked about how Masters3, you know, they have a lot of threats to dive onto a low mobility victor, but hold on, we're gonna have the replay, so look at that, chain CC, the Tibbers, and like we said, laser into Chaos Storm, goodbye, yeah. Caitlyn, but the big thing is that Dandy, not even in the fight yet.
Yeah, We do have a bit of a fight breaking out right now. Dragon's up in 30 seconds, and it seems that the teams are skirmishing about it. Endless gets stunned against the wall. Dade looks to remove him from the map. He succeeds. Hatong is still alive in the back line, but he doesn't want to get there as the frontline tanks of Vici are being shredded by SMLZ and Dade. And Looper single-handedly is keeping the backline of Vici from getting in there. They're doing so much damage. Mata's going to go down. Hatong is the sole survivor. Chrono Break keeps Dade alive. That's 4 kills for none as Master3 find a perfect engage.
Dade's parallel convergence was perfect that engagement. He locked up 2 members, but more importantly, SMLZ's positioning. Where was he standing in the river? In the 1 pixel brush available, allowing him to get more rotations through his headshot. The 50% penetration really coming through as Dade locked up the 2 tankiest members with his parallel convergence, but headshot, quicker rotation, SMLZ was able to just burn through him.
And with that, that's Dragon number 3 secured for Masters3. They're now up 1 turret and 3 dragons. So with that, they should be able to find some better rotations and put themselves in better positions for these team fights. Now we're 25.5 minutes into the game. And after a relatively slow start in which Vici wasn't able to find any snowballs, to find too many picks, it seems as though Vici are starting to lose a bit of steam.
I just want to start calling Masters3 the slow and steady team.
The slow and steady?
Yeah. I feel it's their specialty now. Just because Dade's lane phase is so lackluster that he really doesn't have an impact until he's in those big 5v5s. Here we go.
Here's a breakdown of the fight.
Watch him at SMLZ. He pretty much stands perfectly still as soon as... okay, so he flashes over the wall. Gets back into the fight. Threats move. Okay, here we go. He's looking for that bush. He finds it. There's the parallel convergence on the 2 tankiest members. SMLZ gets in that bush. 3 auto attacks, 4 auto attacks, 5 auto attacks. Didn't even move.
Now he's jumping forward onto Dandy. You can see Looper single-handedly stalling out the back line. Mata goes down. Hatong is able to make it out alive, but Masters3 just found the perfect positioning for that fight. It really seemed as though Vici thought they had the superior positioning that time around, but just weren't quite able to find it.
And really the big difference in terms of the front lines, Dandy versus Looper, is just look at the itemization. Looper 5, 2, and 5, Mata again having to eat that, has both his resistances built up. So he doesn't have his completed MR item, he does have his completed armor item, the Randuin's Omen, as well as a chain vest, but he's got the Merc Treads, he has the Hex Drinker, and he has the Spirit's Cowl. So, you know, he's got so many different forms of resistances that he's able to be that big, super tanky frontline, like you said, and completely zone off both Victor and Mata.
Yeah, so far it looks like Looper is having an excellent game, and right behind him is Kandi. The two have been involved in 10 out of the team's 16 kills, currently highest participation for their side. But on the other hand, everything for Vici Gaming seems to have been based off of World 6 and Mata's positioning. He's involved out of 12 of his team's 12 kills, which is pretty solid for World 6. It's good to see him gelling so well with the team. A little bit of a pick as they do find Dade. He gets a huge Chronosphere, gets knocked over the wall. Wow, a huge snare finds him mid-tumble.
Forcing the flash out of Dade, that's fairly important. That said, Echo does have a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Shield, parallel convergence, his Chrono Break. So, I think I called it Chrono Shift earlier. Sorry, Zillion.
That's fine. Can't kill you in the Zillion.
I hate that dance.
That's my favorite League of Legends related meme. Zillion, or what is it? Echo in the Zilstra?
I don't know. Let's talk about the fact that the Dragon went down. Masters3, 100% objective control over that Dragon Pit. So we talked about kind of win conditions and Masters3 kind of dragging their feet a little bit and being able to close out games. A definite, very clear-cut win condition is that 5 Dragon start, especially as SMLZ. We talked about Power Drops. He's got his Last Whisper. He has his QSS. Caitlyn's ready to rumble, so see if maybe they'll continue to use that pit in that arena as Mata gets picked.
Yeah, he does get picked off here by Love CD and Kandi, as Dade is going to be the guy who ends up getting an assist, helping out as well. With that pick, let's see what Masters3 decide to take. It's a 20-second death timer for Mata. They're just going to look for a couple of deep wards. They might start trying to use that effective Caitlyn range to break down the mid-tier 2 while Dade split pushes.
I mean, it's a free pick and it allows them to get deep wards because, again, Masters3 definitely taking full control over Vision this time around against Vici, but it's not a jungler. They can't rotate into a Baron, but they could try for a sneaky Baron.
Yeah, they are trying to control Vision over the pit right now. You can see Dade and Kandi.
Really difficult to do against Rek'Sai, though, because of her Tremor sense.
Yeah. Really solid positioning from World 6. He actually just spotted Dade over there, and Looper's waiting in the bush over here. He finds Dandy.
Scumbag.
Yeah, he's going for some more trade.
Oh!
They're going to try picking off World 6. The CC lock is real. He gets destroyed from the map. It's Kandi who gets the kill. Teleport being used by Dandy, but his jungler's already dead. No, that's Looper who's teleporting in with the jungler pick. Now they decide to get onto the Baron.
Oh, here comes Dandy, though. They're going to try to contest.
Yeah, they certainly are. Teleport coming in. The remaining members. There's the Chronosphere. Will they catch Hatong? Dade is only going to find a shield. Endless is in the back. Hatong being dived. He flashes away. He's still alive. Looper chases him on the backside. Hatong goes down. Endless is destroyed. And this is also another kill. 4 members are dead. Dandy's going to end up going down here, too. That's an ace now for Master3.
Vici, they went for the contest on the Baron to try to stall them out, but Looper is so sticky and so powerful right now, able to just 1v1. I think it was actually a 2v1.
Yeah.
I think Mata was with him, Hatong, and as soon as that Victor drops, we talked about it, you know, Sivir is a fairly low damage ADC. She's not a hyperscaling attack damage threat, so it's all about this Victor. He goes down, you've got no answers. That's a free Baron.
Yeah, we can see that Baron now secured. Let's get a replay of the fight, and man, this goes great for Masters.
And really, it's just about the fact that Hatong gets locked up by Dade, by Love CD, then immediately on the run, Looper gets into the back line, doesn't even have Meganar, doesn't even matter. Just deleting 2 members, and SMLZ with his oppressive reach and range on Caitlyn, able to clean up the rest of the fight.
Yeah, so much damage on Master3 with the Baron secured. That puts Master3 in a pretty solid condition. Dragon's up in 10 seconds. They look to be securing that. You've got Love CD, SMLZ, and Dade on that side of the map. And we talked a little bit about win conditions. Looks like Master3, once again, playing to that Dragon 5 win condition. Yes, they have Baron. They're using it for some forward pressure, but instead they're going to continue focusing on Dragons. Looper gets his Meganar popped as he pulls some people in the mid lane, and yeah, there's Dragon 4.
I really think the big difference and the fault in this game for Vici is the fact that Mata didn't go off, that he didn't get the successful roams that we saw in the first game and really start getting that snowball going. We said time and time again, yeah, Hatong, he's on these very powerful champions like Victor. I mean, in this composition, he's pretty much the only hope that Vici have, but Hatong himself has never shown up to be the primary hard carry for his team. He can pick up all the kills and he can do his job if everything's going right for Vici, but Mata not able to lead the way, and Masters3 stalled out the game, slowed down Vici's pace, and are in the driver's seat.
Yeah, they certainly are. You can see the siege now from Master3 as they get onto the bottom inhibitor turret. They're going to crack this thing down as SMLZ has got so much range. Every time he goes forward, the turret is slowly losing more and more of its health. The wave clear is pretty solid from Vici Gaming, so they're able to keep it standing for now, but Looper split push in the mid, takes down that mid tier 2 turret. There is not really that much of a wave for Master3 on the top side. They're going to continue trying to break down this inhibitor.
It's a very patient siege, obviously using Caitlyn's range. The wave clear is still fairly potent from Vici just because you have Sivir as well as Victor, so it's about how patient they can be and playing with multiple pressure points, bottom lane and mid lane. Looper pushing that one in.
Yeah, Looper seems like he's getting some serious progress on that mid inhibitor turret while SMLZ looks to follow it up. Dade, LFCD, and Kandi just waiting for someone to be out of position with the amazing amount of damage they do. Can really make this siege absolutely terrifying, and Vici are not having the best time defending this siege. It's a 10,000 gold lead for Master3. They finally go forward. Looks like this is the time to do it. They're going to crack down the inhibitor turret. They might find World 6 here. He takes the stun from the Chronosphere, but the inhibitor falls. Vici decides to turn it into a fight. There's Dade. He drops the Zanyas first. He's way in the front line. Let's see if he's going to get a solid Chrono Break for some serious damage. Instead, he finds the Chronosphere, and Looper is just doing some serious work here. SMLZ in the back is completely untouched, shredding through the health bars of Vici Gaming, and this fight is going to be turned. Mata goes down. This could be 4 kills. It is 4 kills for only 2. The inhibitor goes down. Can Masters3 end it? They're getting onto the Nexus turret now. They
have 2 big tanks left. Oh, hold on, Dandy.
Yeah, they're trying to, but SMLZ just doesn't have the attack speed. He gets knocked away. One Nexus turret is going to go down. It's 20 seconds before the rest of Vici can get back up. Dandy is trying his darndest to bring down M3's health bars, but he just can't do it. He's finally going to end up going down. They focus him. It's an ace for Vici Gaming, and they're going to back away.
Smart decision. The cooldowns timers, or the death timers, were far too low right there, so Dandy did do his job. He kept Vici in the game, traded his life for that. But what a fantastic push from Master3. Complete control over the bottom side of the map, and should this come to a second Baron game, that's pretty much a free pressure point for Master3 to play. You know, you either save your base from bottom side because that inhibitor's down, or you give us the free Baron.
Yeah, and you can see the gold on your screen right now. It's nearly 4,000 in SMLZ's pocket over Endless. That's yielding some serious items. Dade, he's doing pretty solid as well with a nearly 1,000 gold lead. Things definitely looking up for Masters3 as they do crack that inhibitor turret. They've got 4 dragons to the 0 of Vici Gaming, and really it seems like Vici aren't falling prey to Masters3, going for the slow and steady game.
They don't have the tools to protect Victor against the dive and the reach of Masters3. This Gnar, that Gragas, Echo even with his mobility, and then just the long-range pressure from Caitlyn. Hetong is dying far too early in these fights and not able to get through enough rotations of his spells to make a difference.
You can see that there is Master3 shoving on the top side of the map. Hetong is under that turret. He's trying to clear waves as quick as he can. He and Endless are going to perform some serious wave clear, but look at the poke coming out from SMLZ as he shreds through the turret. He does have a Blade of the Ruined King now secured, so he can shred through both World 6 and Dandy, but once again, Masters3 resort to letting Looper split push. He's doing some serious work on his own. He's going to knock down an inhibitor turret. There's no answer.
Dandy is in the base looking for a teleport. Here he comes.
Oh, there's the answer. They decide to try to turn it into a fight. Dade gets right on in, and Endless, he ends up going low. Hetong is nowhere to be seen. He's going to try to flash out of the backside.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of damage coming across. Hetong is still alive. He's finally stunned under the wall as Looper gets under there. World 6 is going to drop. Hetong kiting as best he can, but Endless is dead. Mata is dead. World 6 is dead. Dandy is almost certainly dead as member by member falls. Vici Gaming secured the ace with a bear inhibitor going down. They could look to end the game.
They've definitely ended the game. So it will be a 1-1 split between Masters3 and Vici, and Masters' second game, completely different tempo and pace. That last team fight, Looper on this Gnar coming up huge with a 4-man lockdown, but so many damage threats.
Yeah, so many damage threats out of Masters3, and finally they were able to close out the game. But again, this goes back to the same problem. Slow and steady. They didn't themselves close out the game. It was Vici Gaming going for the aggressive dive.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Masters3, they play a reactionary play style very well. They're not good at kind of identifying what they want and how to take it, but they're really good at playing defensively and reacting to you and getting the better in these elongated engagements. Again, especially on the back of Looper and his Gnar, he found a lot of sizable, really important stuns through the duration of that game.
Looper's Gnar was an absolute terror. He was able to get it again today. We saw him take it yesterday to amazing